Have you ever caught yourself wondering, but why? Like, why is it taking so long? And why are you making me do this? And why do I not understand? Like, why? Lately, I have, well, let's be honest, all the time. I've always done that. There was a time I was sitting on a balcony in New York City in this dirty, stinky, dangerous, gross city. And I'm like, God, why do I love this city so much? And he was like, why do you have to know why all the time? But I honestly feel like I do that about everything. Like, why did the boys not refill the water? And why won't they pick up their clothes? And like, what was the reason? Right now, God has me in a season of trusting him and leaning not on my own understanding. I really feel like Proverbs 3:5 is like the story of my life right now. It says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. The word acknowledge in that verse actually means to come to know experientially. And I'm learning that we got to come to know him intimately in all our ways. So even if it's parenting or finances or relationships or business, if we come to know him and his ways, we will be successful in those areas. But I think we try to do those things independently from him, thinking, well, I gotta work, I gotta strive, I gotta be a good parent, I gotta do all this stuff, not realizing that we can get to know how he did those things because he's the master of all of it. So when we get to know him intimately in his ways and all our ways, then he helps us get those things done. And that's really honestly where he has me right now. In every area of my life, I have to trust him and rely on him for money, for raising my kids, for my relationships, for my future business and career goals, without understanding why he is doing what he's doing, why he's making me wait, why he gives me these instructions without understanding. So have you ever been trusting God for something and waiting on God for something? And whether it's like a spouse, like your kingdom spouse, or it's a career move, or like a blessing, like you're just waiting for him to fulfill a promise that he made to you, or provide for the calling that he placed on your life, and he seems to go past the point of no return. I'm currently in the waiting for what feels like every area of my life. And lately it's just kind of felt like, forget it. Never mind. It's what I feel like the enemy wants me to say. It's just to throw my hands up and go, forget it. God, never mind. Well, I got a revelation as to why that happens. You want to hear it? I'll just read it to you. When we're in the waiting, believing and trusting God for an answer or a promise, and he takes us past the point of our comfort level, it is really for our benefit to remind us that our relationship with him is better than any promise. No matter what happens in this human experience, getting to abide in him and his words in us, abiding in us, is the best gift that we could ever get. A real, true encounter with the creator of the universe that will knock your socks off is better than anything else we could ever dream to experience. Talk about the highest high. And this is something that he gave me while I was in my prayer time, abiding in him and his word abiding in me. Over and over and over again, the word talks about how he is the rewarder and how he rewards us and how we get the desires of our heart. And I'm going to read a few of those verses right now. So John 15:7 says, if you abide in me, meaning him, and my words abide in you, you will ask what you desire and it will be done for you. That's what Jesus said. If you abide in him and his words abide in you, you can ask whatever you desire and you'll get it. It'll be done for you. But think about that. If you're abiding in him and you're in alignment with him, your heart's desire will be in alignment with his heart's desire. So this whole thing of like, oh, you can't just ask for whatever you want. It's not the same. When you're in your flesh wanting what you want, it's not the same as when you're in alignment with him wanting what you want, because he puts those desires in your heart. Because a lot of the times the things you desire, you're like, this ain't the old me. The old me wouldn't have done this, wouldn't have wanted this. The next verse is Matthew 6:33, and a lot of these, yes, is what Jesus said, because that's what I love the red letters. Seek first the kingdom and his righteousness, and all else will be added unto you. Matthew 6:33. When you're seeking him first, everything comes into alignment up underneath there. Psalm 37:4, which I also love David and his praise. It's beautiful. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Delight yourself in the Lord, not struggle in the Lord and suffer in the Lord and work super hard and strive. It says delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Matthew 7:7-8 says, Jesus said, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you. For everyone, he said the word everyone, everyone who asks receives, and he who seeks finds, and him who knocks it will be opened. Because he's a good father. And Hebrews 11:6 says, what does it take to please God? Faith. That he is who he says he is, and that he's going to do what he says he's going to do. Faith is what pleases him. He says, he who comes to God must believe that he is, comma, and that he is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. He rewards those who diligently seek him. So what does it say? Delighting in him, diligently seeking him, asking and having faith that he is who he says he is and he will do what he says he will do. That's what he asks of us. Reassure you. Abiding in him is the most joyful, peaceful, rewarding place to be. It's the most rewarding state of mind to be in. It is where he releases you from turmoil and torment. And to abide means to remain, dwell, or continue in a place, state, or relationship, emphasizing a deep, opening connection and steadfastness, which means firm, unwavering, and resolute in our commitment to him, our creator, his word, and his purposes. Don't get me wrong. There was a time in my life when I remember when that was too hard. That was too much. It's too much work. I don't have time for that. I want what I want, right? Like I'm not interested in trying to worship all day and pray all day and spend time in his presence. Like that's just too much work. But when I turned 40, I was miserable. I was broke, single, felt very alone, overweight, unattractive. And then I did a 40-day fast where I abide in him. I abided, if that's the way you say it, in him. I soaked in his presence every day. The simplicity of devotion to the Father was my main concern every single day, and it changed my life. Not my circumstances at the time, but I was changed from the inside out. Don't get me wrong. I still get distracted. That was September of last year. I've still gotten distracted, but he is faithful to get me right back on track and back in divine alignment. Remember that at the end of the day, the beginning of the day, the middle of the day, the end of the day, all that matters is our divine connection with our Father, our Heavenly Father. We're going to get distracted, but just recalibrate. In the beginning, middle, end of the day, doesn't matter. Recalibrate, get back on track, get back into abiding in him, and the simplicity of devotion to the Father were the most freeing, peaceful places to be.